Alright, hey guys, remember CCG back in the video. So this is going to be my collection video of my Dragon Ruler combos and my deck profile. We're going to get started here with the first combo using 2 copies of Spectre. So we're going to be activating Spectre here and discard the other copy of Spectre in order to get ourselves Redox and Blaster. Now we can activate Redox's effect, banish the Spectre here, and the one card that we discarded, Blaster here, in order to get ourselves Tenpai Dragon of Genroku. We can activate Genroku's effect in order to special summon it out because it was searched out. Then get ourselves Tenpai Dragon Pydra. Activate the effect of Pydra here in order to search out our Sangen Kaiman. Activate the effect of Sangen Kaiman here in order to search out a Tenpai Dragon Zangdora and get it out onto the board and synchro summon into our Biden Dragion. Then we can activate Biden Dragion's effect here in order to get ourselves our Tenpai Dragon Chandra. Now we can exceed summon and go into the new Chasmatis Dragon Ruler of Auroras and use this effect here in order to pitch a Dragon Ruler. This is a great way of just building up the different names of Dragon Rulers in your grave and in your banishment so that you're able to get out the new boss monster of the archetype. So now we're going to activate its effect and get ourselves our title. Activate the effect of Striker Dragon here in order to search out our Boot Sector Launch. And this is great because it's up to you whether or not you want to run Boot Sector Launch, but it does help you get an extra card for you to discard at the cost of it being a potential brick in the future. But then we're going to be able to get our Hieratic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres and use Title's effect here in order to get it out. Activate the effect of Tempest in order to get it out as well. Then we can Exceed Summon and go into the new Eclipse's Dragon Ruler of Woes. So if this card is Exceed Summon, you can target 1 level 4 or lower Dragon Ruler monster in your graveyard or banishment. Then you can special summon 1 level 7 or rank 7 Dragon Ruler monster mentioned on it from your deck or banishment. That's exactly what we're going to do in order to get ourselves our Chasmatis Dragon Ruler of Aurora. Now we can go into the Disaster Dragon Ruler Paranormalities, and if this card is Synchro or Exceed Summon here, you can target up to 4 materials here and put it on here. So this is how you're going to get all the Dragon Rulers onto it. That's exactly what we're going to do, and this is how you set it up. It gets all the Dragon Rulers in it and gets it at its full power. So if this card has Light, Dark, Earth, Water, Fire, and Wind Dragon Ruler monsters attached, it gains 4600 attack and defense, and it is unaffected by other cards' effects. So this effectively becomes a towers with 4600 attack, which is very difficult for your opponent to remove. And also, when you use this effect in order to attach a bunch of things onto this, you can then banish all monsters your opponent controls and in their graveyard with the same attribute as the monsters attached to this card, effectively making it a powerful board wipe here. Just a powerful boss monster that we can get out, and also our Hieratic Seal in order to bounce something in case we need to. So let's go to the next comment that I have for you guys. Before I continue the video, I just wanted to let you guys know that I have a Patreon where you can help support the channel while also influencing the content I create. The link will be in the description, so make sure to check it out. So let's go to the second combo that I have for you, and this was going to be using no Dragon Ruler cards initially, but we're going to be using Tenpai Dragon Pydra and then 2 cards to discard. So we're going to normal summon our Tenpai Dragon Pydra here and activate its effect in order to get our Sangen Kaiman, then activate the effect of Sangen Kaiman here in order to search out our Genroku, and because Genroku is searched out, we can get it out. Then we can go into our Biden Dragion, activate its effect here in order to get out Genroku. Then Genroku can tribute itself and get Fadra. Then Fadra here will get out Genroku once again. So now we can go into Romulus, activate its effect in order to get Dragon Ravine. Activate Dragon Ravine's effect here in order to discard and search out Dragunity Remus. Activate the effect of Remus here in order to get ourselves a Ravine. Activate its effect here. So Remus is a soft once per turn, so as long as you have multiple copies of this card, you are going to be able to use it multiple times here. That's exactly what we're going to do, and pitch ourselves our Redox. Activate the effect of Redox here in order to special summon it out, and go into our Chasmatis Dragon Ruler of Aurora. Activate its effect here in order to pitch another Dragon Ruler and search out Night Armed Dragon, the Armed Night Dragon. So now we can get ourselves our Tempest. Activate the effect of Night Armed Dragon in order to special summon it out. Then use the effect here in order to level modulate and get it to be a level 7 monster and go into Eclipses. And now we have Eclipse's Dragon Ruler of Woe. And then we can get ourselves our Dragunity Remus, link away once again and go into Hieratic Seal. And now we end up here with Hieratic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres, which is obviously able to tribute a monster from our hand or field and return a face-up card on the field to the hand. And then we can use Eclipse's Dragon Ruler of Woes, where when your opponent activates a spell/trap card or effect, you can attach 2 materials from this card, negate the activation, and if you do, banish that card. And then we have Chasmatis Dragon Ruler of Aurora, where if this card is destroyed by battle or if this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can special summon 1 level 7 Dragon Ruler monster from your graveyard or banishment. And not only that, but you could use the effect here in order to use the effect of one of your other Dragon Rulers by detaching a material from this card. So it's a pretty flexible card depending on what you're trying to do. And yeah, it's a pretty good end board. So let's go to the final combo that I have for you guys. Alright guys, so the third and final combo that I have for you is a 2-card combo using Spectre and just any other light monster. So we're going to be activating Spectre here in order to discard our other Spectre and get ourselves our Rectin, Reactin, and our Blaster. We can activate Reactin's effect here in order to get ourselves out our Redox. Then we can use Blaster's effect in order to get itself out, and we can Exceed Summon into our Chasmatis Dragon Ruler of Auroras. Activate the effect of Chasmatis here in order to get ourselves our Black Metal Dragon. Activate, and then link away into our Striker Dragon. Activate Striker Dragon's effect and Black Metal Dragon in order to get ourselves our Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon and get our Boot Sector launch. So the Boot Sector launch here is just for to have another card to discard. If we don't have this, then you just need an extra card to discard in order to do this combo. But besides that, we're going to get our Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon and special summon out Black Metal Dragon, and then link away into Dragunity Knight Romulus. So you can see that this deck is mainly with Dragon Rulers, it just becomes a cool flex spot for other archetypes and for other dragon decks, and really it's just a pure dragon deck where you could just play around with different ones. There's even with Dragon Maid, so there's a few combos with that, but we're waiting for the new Dragon Maid support for you to guys really be able to see that, so I didn't include it here. And so we're going to get ourselves our Dragon Ravine, activate the Dragon Ravine here and discard the Boot Sector launch, and get ourselves our title into the grave, and then banish it in order to get ourselves Tempest. And those two effects will trigger, so we'll be able to get our Amorphage Goliath here that is able to make it so neither player can special summon monsters from the extra deck. So we're going to be able to lock our opponent out using this card. And also get ourselves our Stream Dragon Ruler of Droplets, and then from there we can special summon out our title, Exceed Summon and go into Eclipses, activate Eclipses effect here in order to get ourselves our Redox. And now we can link away and go into Hermetic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres, and use the effect of Red Eyes Black Full Metal Dragon in order to get ourselves our Max Metamorph. So this is a nice little touch where you just kind of get this monster that's a little bit difficult to get out. And now we can use Chasmatis' effect in order to discard and use the effect of Redox in order to bring out Amorphage Goliath. And so now Amorphage Goliath makes it so it's a lock. Your opponent's not going to be able to get out things from the extra deck. It's going to be very annoying for them. And then Hermetic Seal here to bounce whatever might be potentially problematic. Eclipses as well, negate a spell or trap, and banish it, and then Chasmatis in case you need to use the effect of whatever monster, but obviously we use that up. And then we can use Max Metamorph after we don't need Amorphage here in order to get ourselves our Red Eyes Black Full Metal Dragon. And so this is a great addition here, just because from there, when your opponent activates their card or effect, quick effect, you can negate the activation, and if you do, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to the original attack of one monster your opponent controls. And it also becomes extremely difficult for your opponent to get rid of, because it gains 400 attack and defense, and it cannot be destroyed by spells or monster effects, and it cannot be targeted by monster effects or spells effects. So then we end up with this pretty powerful end board that is just super difficult for your opponent to get rid of here, especially once you have the Amorphage out, and you just have the ability to use Max Metamorph whenever you need to, especially if they have like an out for it. Then you can just remove it and introduce a whole new problem for your opponent. We're going to get started here with a 2-card combo using Spectre and Arm Dragon Thunder level 5. So I'm going to say that this combo is the least refined. I just kind of put it together to show how Arm Dragon can really work with Dragon Ruler, but I could see ways in which this can be improved, and I would love to hear you guys just say how this could be even better than it is. So we're going to activate Spectre and discard our Arm Dragon Thunder level 5. Then from there we can get ourselves Blaster and Redox. And so I thought this was cool because obviously we used the Thunder Dragon engine here, the Arm Dragon engine, in order to get our other Arm Dragons, and gives us more discard fuel. But I thought it'd be cool to just kind of get Tempest here. And so I thought this was an interesting way to kind of show how you can get most of the pieces on your hand pretty quickly just having this card. But here we're just going to use Redox, special summon it using Blaster and the Arm Dragon. Then with the Blaster's banishing effect, we can get Dora Draco, and this will go straight into our Tenpai Dragon combo. And so we can go, or Tenpai Dragon engine, so we can get Dora Draco, get our Genroku, special summon out the Genroku, level modulate, and then synchro summon into Sengen Biden Dragon. Activate that in order to get Genroku. This is important because we want to use Genroku's effect here in order to get ourselves our Pydra. Activate Pydra's effect once again. Continue on from here, get Sengen Kaiman. Activate Sengen Kaiman and get yourself Zongdora. So you can see that this is a great way of just getting a bunch of level 7 monsters on the board very instantaneously. And so from there you can just kind of exceed wherever you'd like. And so that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to go into Chasmatis Dragon Ruler of Auroras, activate its effect here in order to get title in the graveyard, and that's just so we have access to Disaster if we'd like. And so yeah, and we're also going to pitch our Sloth here. So that's the nice thing about title's effect. We're going to be able to just pitch Sloth right away. So from there, I'm just going to banish our Tempest and our Spectre in order to get ourselves our title. Then we can activate Spectre's effect, or titles of Tempest's effect here in order to get our Thunder Dragon level 3. And so this is just great in case we need to have more fuel for the combos, if we have other Dragon Rulers that we want to get out. But from there we can just go into our Black Rose, Exceed, and then go into Eclipse's Dragon Ruler of Woes. Then from at this point, so here's another point where you could optimize it depending on what baby you choose to banish. You can then use that effect. If you have other babies that you have in the graveyard, from there, if you were able to banish them, you can just bring out more level 7s. So at this point, we're just going to be activating the effect of Chasmatis and use the effect of Redox here as the discard effect in order to bring out Sloth from the graveyard. And now we lock our opponent. It's a pretty easy lock that you're able to do with a Amorphage Sloth. Neither player can special summon monsters from the extra deck except for Amorphage monsters. Obviously nobody's running them, and so therefore you just lock them out. And then Eclipse's Dragon Ruler of Woes here, Spell Trap Negate in case we need it. And it's a simple 2-card combo that utilizes the Arm Dragon engine, but also utilizes just these new cards that you've seen. But let's go to the second combo that I have for you guys. Before I continue the video, I just wanted to let you guys know that I have a Patreon where you can help support the channel while also influencing the content I create. The link will be in the description, so make sure to check it out. Alright guys, so the second combo that I have for you is using Dora and another copy, so it's just whatever dragon monster you'd like. And so from here, we can normal summon, go into activate its effect here in order to get ourselves Genroku, and this will give us instant access to our Tenpai Dragon. Then we can level modulate and go into Biden Dragion. Activate Biden Dragion's effect in order to get Genroku out. Use his effect here, of course, to get Pydra. So you're going to see this is an integral part of these combos, using the Tenpai Dragon in order to get a bunch of level 7 monsters onto the board. And so from there, we can get Zongdora out to the board, synchro summon into whatever level 7 fire dragon monster that you choose. And mine of this case is going to be Black Rose Dragon. Then we can Exceed summon and go into Chasmatis, Dragon Ruler of Auroras. Activate its effect here in order to pitch the Tempest, and use this effect here and get ourselves our Spectre. And now we can activate Spectre's effect and discard the other monster that we had in our hand. And we can use Pebble here in order to get ourselves our Redox. Now we can use Blaster's effect, get it onto the board, link away into our Dragoonity Knight Romulus, use Romulus's effect here in order to get ourselves a Ravine. Activate Tempest's effect in order to get it out, and especially in order to get a Redox's effect to go off and get ourselves our Sloth. And so at this point we can activate Ravine, discard the Sloth, which doesn't matter because we're going to revive it, and get ourselves Tidal into the graveyard. And this is so we have access to all the names here in case we want to go into Disaster in the future. Otherwise, we're going to go into Eclipses, activate his effect here in order to get ourselves our Redox. Then we can link away and to go into Heretic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres. And so from here, you can see a similar lineup that we had with the previous combo. We're going to get ourselves our Sloth. It's pretty insane because you get your Heretic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres. You get our Chasmatis Dragon Ruler of Auroras. We have our Eclipses here, the Spell Trap Negate, and then this lock that is pretty difficult to get out of. And then from there, we can also go into Disaster in future turns if we'd like. Yeah, this is the second combo that I have for you guys. Let's go straight to the third one. Okay guys, so for the third combo here, it's a 2-card combo. It's going to look very similar to the previous combo, but instead we're going to be using Dora and Stream. This is just to show that you're able to accomplish this combo using any other dragon, and same thing with the last combo. You just want to have one Dora and then whatever dragon monster you'd like. But this is going to be our way of getting into Disaster using the same line as we did in the previous combo. So you're going to recognize this. We're going to go into Genroku, Synchro Summon, get back a Genroku here. There's also a great way for you to kind of relearn the combos if you just keep seeing this be played out, and just see how important it is that as soon as you go into your Tenpai Dragons, you're able to really continue these combos. And so yeah, we're going to use Pydra's effect in order to get the Quick Play spell, activate its effect here, in order to get ourselves Zongdora. Then we can bring out Zongdora onto the board, get ourselves our Black Rose Dragon, and then Exceed Summon, go into our Chasmatis, and then from there we can search out our Spectre, activate Spectre's effect here in order to get ourselves our Pebble and our Blaster. So again, it's similar to what we've done so far. Well, actually exactly the same so far, but we're going to have a quick deviation here soon. We're going to go into Romulus, activate Romulus's effect in order to get ourselves our Dragon Ravine. Tempest is able to get out here, and then we can use Redox ability to get out Sloth in case we need it, in case we're able to bring it out in a future turn. And so we're not going to focus on that right now, but it's just there as an option for us. And then we can get ourselves our Tidal, and that's just to get the name into the graveyard, just like I said with the previous combo. Then we can go into Eclipses here in order to bring out our Redox. Then we can link away, go into Heretic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres, and then because we have our 2 rank 7s, we can easily go into Disaster, Dragon Ruler, Paranormalities, and then activate its effect here. We have every other dragon ruler in the graveyard here, so we can just attach them. It becomes the towers. Then you're going to be able to banish all monsters your opponent controls and in their graveyard with the same attributes as the monster attached to this card. So obviously we're going to have every attribute here, so everything gets banished. And then not only that, obviously it's going to be difficult for your opponent once you banish all the monsters on their field, and now they have to deal with the towers and a heretic seal that's able to bounce something. So let's go to the final combo that I have for you guys. Alright guys, so the final combo that I have for you is a 1-card combo using Dora. Maybe I should have started with this because this would have just kind of given you an idea of what you're able to do using Tenpai Dragon, but screw it, we're going to do it last here. So we're gonna normal summon Dora, activate its effect. So at this point you should be familiar with this combo, this line where you're gonna go into Genroku, go into our Sangan, Pi Bite and Dragion, get out Genroku, then activate his effect here in order to get out Pydra, then activate Pydra's effect, get our quick play spell, activate the quick play spell here in order to get Zongdora, get it out onto the board, and now we can synchro summon into whatever fire dragon monster you want. It's level 7, go into Chasmatis, activate the effect of Chasmatis here in order to get our Sloth into the graveyard, and then during the standby phase or the draw phase in this case, we're going to be able to just pitch our Redox here in order to bring out our Sloth, and then boom, you just have this instant lock. Again, it's just the most minimalist way of just going straight into the lock. And so yeah, in case you guys wanted to know, this is the easiest way to do it. It's a 1-card combo. It has a very few lines as well, so you can just go straight into the Sloth here in case you just want to set up a easy block. And then let's say for instance that you just drew your Dora and you only had access to other spells and traps, at least you can set up with a lock here. This is a 40 card build. There's been a 60 card build that's been going around, and that looks pretty promising, and I can build my version of that as well if you guys want to see that. But we're going to start here with the 40 card build, and we're going to get started here with 2 copies of Blaster, 2 copies of Tidal, 2 copies of Tempest, and 2 copies of Redox. So all of these dragon rulers, we want to have 2 of them just so that we can have their names, and that's important in case we want to go into disaster. But they're all pretty solid in their own right. Some are better than others, just because like Blaster here, you can discard this card and 1 fire monster into the graveyard to target 1 card on the field and destroy that target. So you can do something like that if you need to, but obviously that's not ideal to be using 2 resources like that to be popping something. So sometimes you don't always have to use their effect. And then we have something like Tempest as well, where you can discard this card and 1 wind monster to the graveyard and add 1 dragon monster from your deck to your hand. So again, there's like variability in their effectiveness of their effects, but they're all pretty good enough in order to run 2 copies and to have the names. And besides that, we also run 1 copy of each of the babies here. So I do run 1 copy of Reactant, Burner, Lightning, and Stream. So I want to have 1 copy here in order to get a specific dragon ruler, and also it's a good target as well. And so besides that, we do run 3 copies of the new Spectre Dragon Ruler of Rays. This card you definitely need 3 of, just because it's an insane card. If you've seen the combos, you can see how integral it's been to that. You can discard this card and 1 light or dragon monster and add 2 dragon ruler monsters from your deck to your hand, except for this card. And then you can banish this card and 1 light or dragon monster from your graveyard, then target 1 Chasmatis Dragon Ruler of Auroras in your graveyard and special summon it out. But of course, the main thing about this, at least for right now, is that you're able to search out 2 Dragon Ruler monsters using this card. So we want 3 copies of that. Nebulous is solid, but he does require a little bit of setup, as your opponent, as you have to have 2 of your banished Dragon Ruler monsters with different attributes. But then from there, you can be able to special them out. So you can get some value out of that. It just isn't instantly valuable as Spectre. And then we run 1 copy of Armed Dragon Thunder level 7, level 5, and level 3. And so these are great discard targets. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you're going to be able to either draw a card, search out another Thunder Dragon, just filling out your hand just for the using your Thunder Dragons, which is pretty good. And then we run 1 copy of Morphage Sloth. And so this is going to be part of the lock. You saw that I used a different Morphage monster during the combos video. I decided that Sloth is a little bit better here, just because if you need to, you can tribute this out for one tribute summon, and the other Morphage monster requires you to tribute 2 monsters. So if you're ever forced into that position, then it's going to be a lot more costly to be able to get it out. Besides that, we do run the Tenpai Dragon little engine here with Dora, 3 copies of Dora. There's a pretty good 1-card combo that uses this card, and this card is just integral for just setting up your rank 7s. And then from there, we also have Tenpai Dragon Genroku, which you've seen in the combos, how important it is to search it out and get instant value out of it. And same thing with Pydra and Chandra. These are just going to enable you to actually use the Tenpai Dragon engine and be able to attack and bring out more of your synchro monsters, and from there exceed into your other level 7s. Then for the hand traps, we want 3 copies of Hualos and 3 copies of Ash Blossom. These are just the hand traps of choice. You can play around with that if you'd like. Then we have 1 copy of Triple Tactic Talents, pretty standard here. Drago Calamity is the new spell card that we have. You can special summon 1 Dragon Ruler monster from your hand, graveyard, or banishment. Then immediately after this effect resolves, you can exceed summon 1 Dragon Ruler monster using only Dragon Ruler monster you control as material. And then during your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Then target any number of your banished Dragon Ruler monsters with different attributes and return to the graveyard. So pretty good value they can get out of this card. 3 copies of Droplet in case you're going second. You have some way to react to it. 1 copy of Sang and Kaiman. This card is great because you're instantly able to search something out and then be able to get it out onto the board as well. Then we have 1 copy of Sang and Summoning. During your main phase 1, fire dragon monsters you control are unaffected by your opponent's activated effects. And then during your main phase, you can add 1 Tenpai dragon monster from your deck to your hand and then discard a card. So it's okay if you discard the card because you can just use it for its banishing effect. Dragon Ravine here is great because it does let us pitch dragon monsters from the deck to your graveyard. And again, for our dragon rulers, we want to do that so that we could use their graveyard banishment effects. Before I continue the video, I just wanted to let you guys know that I have a Patreon where you can help support the channel while also influencing the content I create. The link will be in the description, so make sure to check it out. Alright, and then going to the extra deck, we have Sangenpai Biden Dragion. So have you guys seen in the combos, this is an integral piece that we go into a lot, just because it's a level 7 synchro monster that is pretty easy to get out and makes a great exceed target. And then we have our Black Rose Dragon here as well. If we need to, we can synchro summon into this, wipe the board, but besides that, it's a level 7 fire dragon monster, and you know, obviously there's a lot of benefits that come with that when you're running Tenpai Dragon. Divine Arsenal AA Zeus, it's a bunch of Exceed monsters. 2 copies of Chasmatic Dragon Ruler of Aurora. This is arguably the best Exceed monster that's come out of this, because you can send 1 level 7 Dragon Ruler monster from your deck to your graveyard, and detach 1 material from this card. This effect becomes that sent monster's effect that activates by discarding itself. So you can use this card in order to use the effect of other Dragon Ruler monsters. And then if this card is destroyed by battle or in its possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can special summon 1 level 7 Dragon Ruler monster from your graveyard or banishment. So it's able to kind of refill itself. But of course, the main thing with this is that during its first effect, you can use this to use the effect of one of your Dragon Rulers. Specifically, we can use the effect of Redox here in order to special summon a monster from the graveyard. And that's how you get out your Morphage Sloth. And then from there, just lock your opponent out of their extra deck. It's pretty annoying, but it's a very powerful setup. Then we have Eclipses here. If this card is Exceed Summon, you can target 1 level 4 lore Dragon Ruler monster in your graveyard or banishment, and special summon 1 level 7/rank 7 Dragon Ruler monster mentioned on it from your deck or banishment, then shuffle that target into the deck, and it's also a Spell Trap Negate that also banishes. Then we have 1 copy of Disaster here. This is the boss monster that if you're able to get it out, it's going to be very difficult for your opponent to deal with, just because when it's Exceed Summon, you can target up to 4 level 7 Dragon Ruler monsters in your graveyard and or banishment and attach them to discarded material. Then you banish all monsters your opponent controls and in their graveyard with the same attribute as the monsters attached to this card. So obviously you're running Dragon Rulers, so the implication is that you're going to get all attributes onto this card and basically banish everything. And then after that, this card it gains a 4600 attack and defense boost, and it becomes a tower, so it's very disruptive and annoying to get rid of. And so to kind of ensure that you're able to get this effect out, you have things that can bait out potential imperms. So we have Dark Arm, the Dragon of Annihilation here. You can use this as a potential effect in order to detach 1 material from this card, target 1 card your opponent controls, destroy it, and you can also banish a card from your graveyard, and then from there you can activate their graveyard banishment effects. You also have Big Eye, so you can steal something if you need to, and kind of force a response if you are concerned that they might have something that can stop you from going into disaster. And then we also have the Darkest Dragon Doom Rider. So once returned, you can detach 2 materials from this card and target 1 face-up card in the field, destroy it, and if you destroy that monster, you can make 1 face-up monster you control gain attack equal to the attack. So yeah, that's fine. But this becomes a quick effect if you have a dragon monster equipped. So obviously you're gonna have that. So being able to pop a card is great. Again, forcing a response. SP Little Knight is SP Little Knight. Dragoonity Knight. This is our way of searching out our Dragon Ravine. And so from there we can pitch whatever we need to. And usually it's going to be something like Sloth or one of our Dragon Rulers that we can use its effect later on. Heretic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres is great. You can bounce things with it. It's annoying. Striker Dragon here is a great Link 1 dragon that we can go into if we need to. That also just kind of helps us fill out our grave a bit. But yeah, this is my deck profile. If you guys haven't watched the combos, it's going to be on the top right corner. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you want to see a different build or see more combos for this deck. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.